welcome back to myself and to you, I guess. I don't know. I had a lot of fun doing the last one of these quote-unquote microphone test. So here I am again today. I think I've realized the error of my way with these crosswalks. Um, Pretty backed up. I think I maybe need to do like a walkway overpass. I don't know if that's the right term, but basically, obviously, a lot of foot traffic wants to go that way, but I don't really want to interrupt the road to do it. So maybe I'll back these up a bit and go. I just think it's gonna look weird with the single-family housing right here, but maybe that's not the craziest thing ever. You drive down the highway, at least where I live, and occasionally you'll see a weird sidewalk overpass. I don't know the right term, but at least in my head that's what makes sense. So we'll probably do that here shortly. My other thought is either finally getting to work on some more housing over here across the highway. I'm considering this north. At least that's how I've named my streets that have directional prefixes, and some of my districts, but I don't know. I wish this game kind of gave you a compass, but maybe that would be an annoying thing to set. I guess we're having traffic issues. It's something I haven't really looked at too closely. Again, might need some crosswalk management. I'm guessing we wouldn't want that on the highway side, but then again, there's so many more left turns probably to the north towards the industrial district. I don't know. Maybe. It's not a great need to cross, but maybe if we did want to have, I would want to have one cross at least. So maybe the highway side would make more sense. It does also get you closer to the hospital, so maybe I will do that. Maybe I'll leave it. I think I'll leave it for now. I'm not quite sure how to tackle some of these traffic issues. I'm not much of an urban planner. I probably should have tried to do that in college, but you live and you learn other things, and you think you're going one way and you end up somewhere else. So nothing wrong with that. I can't really talk philosophically. I don't feel as if I've earned enough life experience to talk to somebody in that sort of manner, but maybe that's more of a self-confidence thing than anything. I do enjoy what I do for a living. It's fulfilling in its own way and entertaining in another way, and I don't know. It's again something I set out, learned to do, and started doing. So it's always fun to make that work out. I'm trying to decide if there's a way to turn off the chirper noise. That was something I did watch back the whole of my microphone test, and I don't know. It's a weird sort of let's see. I don't even know what it would be in general. No. Whatever. They can sell my information. It's like if I could just mute the chirper thing, I wouldn't care either. Chirper pop-ups. I don't know if that's going to do the sound, but we'll see. Completely forgot what I was saying before that. Anyways, a lot of foot traffic here. I don't want to do a bunch of civilian overpasses or pedestrian overpasses. That just feels weird. Same thing with going underground, and I've never had much luck using tunnels in city skylines too. They always end up looking awful, at least in my experience. Wow, these are a lot of pedestrians. Where are you guys going? Destination, store. I guess I should probably, you're gonna walk to there? Maybe they're walking to their car. Maybe I'm starting to think I should take street parking off here. I don't know how much that's actually the issue, if at all. I mean, you can see there's no street parking on this, but I think that's because I took it out. I don't know why I don't have it out on, or do I have it out on that side? Yeah, I do have it out on that side. Okay, I don't know what I'm This guy's riding the curb, I guess. Yeah, so I guess in my head, thinking about doing this again, I was like, oh, I'll talk about this maybe, or, you know, think about this for the game. I didn't really plan on conversational topics as much as you can have a conversation with yourself, but, I don't know. I was like, this is where we'll end up going and doing, and I don't know, ramble on for a while. It feels more rambly today. Maybe that's because I'm thinking more self-conscious about it than the first time, because it was just sort of a funny joke. It's not so much of a funny joke anymore. Now I'm doing it for real, in a sense.
This is an emergency broadcast to all citizens. The Fire and Rescue Service reports that fires are currently spreading in the nearby forest. The billowing clouds of smoke pose a serious health risk to anyone nearby. At this time, all citizens in the affected area are instructed to immediately move to a safe distance until the situation is under control.
Thanks for that. A very important broadcast interruption. You know, what's the over-under this actually burns more than maybe a tree or two? I go with 0. I don't appreciate the, the fire warnings. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I didn't make my map tree heavy enough. But even some of the vanilla maps, I don't really remember forest fires being that big of an issue for me. I think some other people have had issues in the past. Yeah, this is just... I probably need to do buses. I think that's probably my solution, is to either reduce the number of vehicle traffic, or the amount of vehicle traffic, or pedestrian traffic. I mean, if they're walking the other side of town, that might be an issue. I've never been good at setting up bus routes. That's it's a little concerning. So maybe I will, just for now, we'll do... Oh boy, you're gonna see my amazing skills at, oh, I forgot to turn the music off. I said I was gonna do that to myself before I started this, because that would be a weird volume switch up, and then I didn't. Assisting geometry, maybe we do one. This, do we want continuous? 24, 24. Slope too steep. We need to go that. Golly, that just feels so tall. Kind of out of scale. Man. Hate it. Maybe it would be worth backing it up. Again, it just feels like it's a weird sort of thing to have next to a low density house, but this is clearly an issue. I mean, why don't I have a crosswalk? I do have a crosswalk over there. That's just yeah, I think let's take those out. Go there. Anybody that wants to cross can do it over here at the low traffic side. I mean, is that just basically pawning this issue off into the future? Yes, absolutely, I would say. But for now, I think that'll serve our needs. I know they're gonna take a while to actually give up on that, but I don't know. Maybe it's just weird because you wouldn't want to back this up and not have the access here, but obviously that would be, you know, pretty easy to set up. How's my train route going? I guess 54 passengers isn't terrible. I don't... Okay, can they access it from this side? I was really unsure. It does not look good, but it works. And that's honestly more important gameplay-wise. I'm glad I got... Maybe that's why the traffic's so much more foot traffic, because I didn't set this up that long ago. I don't think I had it on the edge of the station. I think I had it slightly lower, and I don't know if it worked, but that works for now. You know, this wouldn't be a horrible place to have kind of the sidewalk to go over. Do I need to be 10 meters in the air? I think that's the other question. 7.5. Is that going to give us that weird sort of... Yeah, well, 7.5. Oh, God. That's certainly something. That too, as if that's gonna work. They can walk up that, but Maybe let's go 8. I think maybe the weird angle is just from the ground. Not sure on that one. Other thing is just the centering it. That's always not going to be very easy. Oh, decisions. Again, I almost would rather not do something than do it bad or ugly. And I think, you know, growing up, that's always something I enjoyed, was watching 100-part playthroughs of Minecraft or whatever. And I always thought I could do that, but, you know, when you're 13, 14, you don't exactly have the hardware or software to do it. And even if you did, you know, who's going to listen to a little squeaker online? So certainly come a ways before ever actually doing this. I probably should have tried it earlier in my life. You know, I talked to Casey a bit, and again, shout out him. I know he watched the other one because we talked about it. So, you know, he might be back here again if this even makes it. I don't know. I feel a lot worse about today's than I do about yesterday's. But you know, I've never really had the idea of streaming. Wow, those bars do not go down, and the civilians do not care for the train. Wow, that is problematic, to say the least. I've never been much for talking to strangers, I think, and I think that's where my avoidance of streaming comes from. So, this feels... natural is not the right word, but it does feel... Why does that... Oh, I'm on that. That's why. It does feel more my speed, I guess you could say. There's no way 6.25 works. It's the clearance. I'd like that box truck to come back the other way. There's no way 5 meters works. Yeah, okay, clearance too low. Okay, 6.5. And I might need to move it over just a bit. Or do I? Could always just do it. I mean, that's not good. 13.6. Oops. Ah, dang it. I guess I should have looked at the distance, not the... Again, I would despise the thought that maybe can I do these 5? That is going to look terrible. 38.3. There's 46.3. Which one of those? I don't think any of these are gonna look good. I like almost need to 38.2. Is it the grid? I guess it is the grid. Let's go 40 to the ground. 170 on the degree, 40 to the ground. We did it at 5. Let's turn that back on. I said too many things. I don't remember what I was on. 40, 170, right? Good enough. And that's just, this is the hard part, is getting it to not look atrocious here. Oh god, that's absolutely awful. Maybe let's back. I don't really want to back this up, but maybe that is a better option. Don't worry, I will not remember what I was talking about to get back to it once we figure this out. I guess this is probably for the best that I don't remember what I was talking about. So there's that. Maybe we continuous. Main complex 12. That 12. 12. 11.5. That, you know. That's not terrible. Now, what are the odds I can do that exactly over there? Very low, but we will try. 12 there, 12. Oh boy, is that... No, I did this first. Which these do not match. Maybe let's get rid of that. 16. No sides of buildings. I have that off. What are you snapping to? Oh, the angle. 16, 16. We'll go back to the angle. 12. Let's get rid of the angle. Let's get rid of the screw. Get rid of it all. 5, sure. Turn those on again. 12. There. Now that is not awful. Now that's awful. What's going on there? This is flat ground. It's okay. Oh, jeez. It's like, what is this? 2 point. Why is there? That might just be something we live with for the functionality. Good enough. Good enough. Now, it feels a little ridiculous, but, you know, I guess that's a project you might do for a train station. It has a lot of foot traffic, and there's a lot of foot traffic going over. I don't really want to mirror that over here. I just feel like the walk up for it has to be so long, but you can't really do, you know, staircase in this. Or an elevator. Not really options, so can't do that. Again, tunnels I think are non-starters in this game for me. They're awful. Awful. They look awful when I do them. I've seen people do decent ones. I don't have the mod for retaining walls or whatever. Best I got is a sound barrier, which does not do the same thing. You know, bicycle lanes. I hadn't considered those. Does just go nicely there. Maybe I didn't want to do bicycle lanes, and I also would you'd lose the on-street parking here. That would maybe, well, clearly not an issue. Can I do alleyway through this? I can. Because I could do an alley. Gives you some, you know, weird back alley parking. Wouldn't look horrible. Maybe it would. Think about this. Because I don't know what height it's going to. You know, we'll use one of my fancy, say, quick saves, pretend quick saves. See what we end up with here. I have remembered to hit the record button. That was probably my first concern doing anything yesterday, recording some games with my buddies, and then doing that. That was definitely a concern, was that I would not hit the record button. Thankfully not the case. I have managed to do that today as well. I looked over and checked just to make sure just now. I think I like the alley right here, honestly. I don't think it's going to look great here if I connect to that. You know, that might look better than I thought it would. It does look better than I thought it would. Alright, well, never mind. That looks good. I could do some parking along West Track Street. That might not look bad. Tempted to do a 3-lane right here. I wish it wouldn't. I guess I would have to take up the space there. That wouldn't save us very much traffic headache, I don't think. I guess I should probably match the bridge on this side, but why would I? you know, yeah, but it's not a, you can't cross to the station there, so well, I don't know, it's not that much worse of a walk, I would say. If this ends up being a bigger issue with the trains and people walking across blocking it, then maybe that's something worth doing on both sides, but I think for now, that's okay. You don't really have the space to go over the train tracks. I also don't know if that, I don't think that clearance level would work for this either. Maybe I should have considered that. Because we were on the 625. Well, you know, if you don't mind some wonkiness to it, it does sort of work. I don't even know if 7.5 looks any better. Oops. Don't know that it does. Shoot, hard to tell. I guess it looks okay. We'll worry about that later. It's maybe overthinking it a little bit. Can I fit a parking lot in right here? That might be a nice sort of. I could do a tiny single rows, a little too big. Too big by one, so tiny it is. I like to be nice. Free parking. Yeah, we could do nice little mini parks. Where's my urban park at? Those are always look good. I wish I could color match the. I guess I can just. Until we get. I like that tile better. I said I like that tile better. No, that tile better. There we go. Okay. And we'll do a little surface painting. Why not? Pull this over. I do think there's been a lot of cool tools that have made their way into the base game. I'm never much for modding. I shouldn't say it like that. I enjoy modding games. I did a lot of modding for, you know, Fallout New Vegas. Well, not like I made the mods. I've always wanted to make a mod. Same thing, make a game. Never really been able to pull that off. Lack of self-discipline or something, I'm sure. But you know, I've modded games. Trying to think what it's called. Nexus mod's always an easy one. Growing up, Steam Workshop still great. I still miss more games using it, but you know, it's nice to have. Project Zomboid, great game, great mods, great community. So always enjoy a good mod, but I've not really enjoyed or really tried to do mods. I've looked at the Parcel mod. I think it's Parcel Singular. That mod looks extremely interesting for this game. This house, okay, there you go. Now it's on fire. I think it'd be interesting. I always worry about compatibility issues with something like that. I don't know why. You know, it's like whatever. I guess that's okay. Why is this not free? There we go. Come on. Are those even the same? They are, but that one's. Well, I guess they both have it. All right, close enough. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm in the weeds here. I don't know. I've always worried about adding something like that, and then it gets deleted or doesn't work. We've had that with the Zomboid mod in the past. Lifestyles, I think it was called. Basically, I'm sure it was a copyright issue. You had songs, you played on instruments. It was awesome, and I'm sure not quite fair use or whatever people love to try and use. I would love copyright law to be different, but I'm not a lawyer, and I, beyond a very basic understanding, don't really know enough to say otherwise. And I've uploaded stuff with copyright stuff in it, so I can appreciate that, at least for YouTube, a lot of the time that kind of stuff gets recognized, and then they're cool. They'll not give you a strike or whatever it's called. I'm gonna make that a stoplight. I didn't expect the traffic to be quite so big, but I guess it's an avoidance of Steel Avenue. You're going down Sidewinder to take Track Street to turn in to Caribou. So, again, I need to get this moved, but I thought, that's in real life, that's probably a big headache. So you might go around it and, earmark that for later. And so I did just that. Again, thinking about being realistic, kind of like with the right of way, but is that actually realistic? I don't know. But a bus system, definitely something I think needs to happen here. There is a lot of traffic. Very much on this end. I don't know, it might be poorly designed or poorly implemented street hierarchy. Um, and will, adding more vehicles save that? I don't know. I avoid the bus in real life. I appreciate what it does, but I don't know. Gives me anxiety. It feels like a cop-out answer. Everything gives me anxiety, but I don't know. Buses. I've enjoyed a bus occasionally, but they weren't really for me growing up. Did not enjoy the school bus, to say the least. So if we're thinking about buses, we need a bus. Wow, this is not as big as I remember it being. I was thinking it was going to be. Maybe that's the tram. That's a train, so not what I'm thinking about. This depot, not as big as I thought. I could almost stick it in. Excuse me. I could almost put it in here, kind of on this parcel. Don't know if I'd love the way that would look. I also can't quite tell where it's coming out, and I need to think about where it's punching into the system. I can't tell. Okay, so it's the front of it'll be on Shawcross here. So it's not horrible. I don't know if I want to send buses down when it becomes Main Street. I've never thought too much about, bus stop placement or route placement. I guess that's probably what the traffic overlay would be good for. I just itched my nose and covered my mouth. It'll be something to see how that kind of slows down, muffles the audio. I don't really have a lot of great cross coverage with, non-arterial roads. So like you've got Harrington Avenue on the north side. As I blow some schmutz off my glasses, and you got Summit Avenue. So it's not great. Like I'd love to go down a side street, but again, Main Street I would avoid. I'd go Wallace maybe, but that also has fewer lanes. So I don't know if that's a great idea. It's a little more spaced out, I guess, if we go Wallace and then go Harrington. Again, that's just adding more traffic to Harrington. You'd hope it would take more traffic off than it creates having a big bus. That's kind of the goal. I'm gonna him and ha on my way through, and immediately do that. It's my default placeholder thinking word, I guess, is the word I almost did it again. I had to think about it. That's always in speech class. I remember in college they told us to just be quiet. Think if you need to think for a second. Don't just think. And I got a B in that class. So could I have done better? Probably. I'm not a good public speaker, and maybe that's why I enjoy this. Is it kind of takes that. Maybe I enjoy part of public speaking where, you talk, because I don't know, who doesn't enjoy hearing themselves talk a little bit at least. But it's not a direct audience. I'm not, and that's kind of goes back to the, I don't think I'd stream because, well, I'd be talking to myself still and having to look at what other people think about that, if anybody even watched, so I wouldn't enjoy that very much, I don't think. It might be worth giving it a shot, but that's a whole different setup. This is enough of a time sink for what little time I did sink. But, these days I don't really have a lot of time to blow. What's that? It's not really like a meme, but it's like, the graph of like age and time and money, and, you get older, you have the money, but you don't have the free time. When you're younger, you have the free time, you don't have the money. Not that I've ever been in that much of a struggle, personally. I wouldn't want to frame it like that. That'd be disingenuous, but the time part of it's definitely true. You work full time, you have friends, you're in a relationship, that kind of stuff. Eats up a lot more time than I think I thought it would as I got older, even having seen that before I was really a full adult. There I go, humming again. So, you know, it's something that, like, I can appreciate that out of the box OBS was pretty much good. And, you know, Sea Dog's music, I believe that's the channel name that I used setting it up. You know, it was nice, quick, I think 10-minute video. So I was telling Casey yesterday, because he's an OBS, I'll call him an OBS head. I don't know if he used that word to describe himself, but that's what I'm going to use because he enjoys kind of the inside baseball of it all. And now I've lost where I was going with that. But you know, I don't know what I'm doing, so I would have just gone completely out of the box and then troubleshot my way through it. But having that resource and then having Casey as a resource, you know, it helps a lot and made it easy. And I'm gonna my way through everything now, as well as I'm just gonna zoom in and out randomly, pan the camera. You know, that's it's almost more of a podcast, and I made that joke at the end when Luis hopped in. Um, made that joke at the end when Luis hopped in, and it's kind of true. I mean, it's more of a, you know, just what the world needs, more white men talking about how they feel about the world, but masking it as not feeling, and instead it's just what they think. Um, Boy, that's getting off base for where I'm at. Jeez. Well, not cutting it. I'm not editing. I have DaVinci Resolve only solely to be able to pull my audio out as a separate track. Which even that I don't know how to do that. Like I just drag the MP4 into DaVinci and it works and I export. So I'll need to figure that out. So here's another interesting traffic jam. As interesting as traffic jams can be. There's a lot of people crossing over through fields, which makes sense. It's the only, kind of like we talked about, or I talked about, where there's not really any east-west non-arterials. This is kind of our only north-south on the north side. So it makes sense it's a little heavy. It's pretty heavy. I also don't have stop sign there. Maybe we'll do that. It's a neighborhood street, but let's see. What's the issue here? They want to turn right. This backs up. I hate to add one more lane. I'm tempted to make this the 5-lane asymmetric here in this block. The left turn kind of killing me. But not having it pushes, I guess it pushes more traffic across fields, which is fine. So maybe I will make this a non-turn, and we'll see how it goes. Whatever keeps traffic flowing on Harrington. I think maybe that's the point. If I fix Harrington a bit, fields can catch up. Going across is easy. I guess I could look at making this the 3-lane asymmetric. That does get rid of some street parking, not a big deal. It's like hard to tell what. That still give you 2 right turns, so it doesn't really. I guess it saves us a bit. Maybe I'll get rid of the crosswalk here as well. You gotta go over and then across. I've never really thought about asymmetric crosswalk setups, but I think working in a local government to do GIS work, I don't want to get too specific. I don't know, not to dox myself or anything, or that somebody's gonna, you know, steal important asset data where I work, but drawing in crosswalk lines in GIS, that's probably very specific. It's not like that's very general or vague. But you know, you think about those things a lot more the more you see them, and especially from the top down. I mean, it is crazy the difference in how I look at road infrastructure, or like signs and streetlights. You know, when you look at it from top down, you know, it gave me more of an appreciation for looking at it as you drive.
We interrupt this program.
No, we don't interrupt this program. Thank you. Oh wait, that one's actually about traffic. Where's oh, hailstorm. Never mind. Not important. Again, it's not. There's not a cloud in the sky, but sure, hailstorm. Oh boy, wow, we're 35 minutes in. This one's going faster than the last, to be honest with you. Um, I don't know if the double turn lane is. I really also like the mod in this game that you can adjust the traffic lights and the lanes and whatnot. Because I mean that's kind of a huge thing in city planning, I would think, would be that. I wish I could do 3 lanes to keep the parking, but I guess I don't really need to keep the parking. I'm just worried that if I add a node, so we'll go ahead and do a quick save here. Not a quick save, but you know what I mean. Worried adding this here. I've already broken the. That was enough. Wow, that did not break anything as far as I can tell. All right, 2 and 3 lane asymmetric here then. Get rid of Dean Lane. Don't need it. We don't have the crosswalk there. That works. Nice sidewalk there. But I've thought about modding this, but I don't know. I think I enjoy the base game enough. I don't feel the need to. I don't get frustrated enough to want that. And I can understand completely why someone would. Not to sound like I'm disparaging anyone that does that, but here I go insulting people that I don't know or anything. Not really that insulting. Get over yourselves. Straw man in my head. I do think a bike lane would be interesting. I think I wasn't really going to introduce bikes because I've heard they're a headache for your traffic, which maybe that is a contributor, but pretty sure, yeah, they got spawned in at the train station. So, and I mean, to be fair, that's probably a little realistic. Not where I live that people bike everywhere, but that there is some need for bike infrastructure. Yeah, I don't really want to have it on the inside. Guess I could get rid of parking on this, but I don't want to do that. I think for now, let's just experiment and we'll do bike lanes here to try and keep them out of the main lanes of the roundabout. Oh, and then, wow, that's... I didn't realize it was going to give them a bike lane in the roundabout, to be honest with you. That's not something I would have wanted, probably. But, well, I guess if they could cut the sidewalk right there, that works enough. That's, wow. It gets them out of the roundabout lanes. That works for me. And, it's nice to splash some color in there, I guess. Add to the beauty of our large roundabout. Is that how that works in real life? I doubt it. I've drawn some bike lanes in GIS, it's another thing that I hadn't really thought about. I mean, where I live, we don't have a ton of bike lanes. But there's more in the big cities than out in suburbia. I'm more of a suburban guy myself, I think. I enjoy the big city. I like walking around, but well, I guess I've never lived in a big city. I've lived near big cities my entire life, but never in one. So maybe that's a whole different ball game when it comes to, how you experience it if you work there versus if you live there. I guess let's just go ahead and throw this bike lane all the way up. Why not? Green on both sides. I think we'll end it there before the bridge. For now. I doubt this gets very much use with biking. It's not a lot of great... I thought about having Strata Court go through to center, but I think that's a tight turn, and I think it's already served pretty okay. I mean, I really tried to divert more traffic north. I don't think I accomplished that very well. Summit seems to not be getting the use you would want to see, but I guess it looks better than I thought. Again, I'm not a traffic engineer. I couldn't really tell you numbers or nothing. I don't really know lane math that well. I don't think it's all that complex. We're gonna get rid of that crosswalk. I think I like the asymmetric crosswalks almost. It really helps with the turning throughput, I guess you'd say. Him and Han again, don't mind me. I feel like I need to ask questions like, oh, everybody having a good whatever, but I don't know anyone that's watching this that I couldn't just ask that directly. So I won't pretend to do that. Not that I wouldn't care, but just, screaming into the void here pretty much. Let's see. Well, I know I set out to work on this a bit, but did not do that at all. See, I used to not have the night cycle going. I like the night. It looks so cool, but it just makes working in the dark a bit difficult for me. Maybe I'm losing my eyesight a bit or something. I'm already pretty not sharp in my eyes. I do think I want to, at least where I live, it's like splits. A street that's like this. Again, trying to be vague here, in case someone wants to come murder me in my sleep. Where it splits off. I've got it as the one ways. Obviously, I'm making it a medium road, using small roads instead. So I'm thinking I might end up splitting it off and have, say, one way, that does that, and then the one way back is over here and merges over. I probably definitely need to get a super node out here for this. Maybe I'll do that first. That'll probably get me going. Trying to think. We've got Summit as an arterial. Do we want to do an arterial there? Probably. So we will. Let's see how well I can do this without breaking the streets naming. Let's do an alley. We'll just pull the grid over. 4-lane asymmetric. We'll do that there. Sure. 2-lane. Pull that over. Mark it in. We'll go roundabout. Trying to think what size I have over there. I think I have this. Yeah, we'll do another one of these. Why not? I'm not 100% committed to another roundabout. I mean, it's not always the best solution. I love a good roundabout, although the people around me don't always know how to use them. But, get rid of that. See, this is the issue I was having before. Not a good look. That does fix it a bit. Then I don't know. I don't really have block sizes, do I? I guess I sort of do. 104 across. We'll just go with the width for now. We won't worry about anything else. 104. So that. We'll just make it a nice square. How about that? So, whatever, we'll fix it later. Do it live. Fuck that guy. Alright. So, that would do that. We could say get rid of that crosswalk there. This does make a horrifically ugly stop bar, yellow double line situation here. No raised pavement markers, how dare they? Although I guess I could. I probably should pull. We'll go complex curve. What is it, 104? What's half of 104? 57? So. No, that's 112. 48? 104. 50-50 gets you 100. 52. So, stop doing that. We'll do cell zoning length 52. Oh boy. Going to that. I like need to. I don't know why it's doing that. Just feels maybe we go 104. We'll go over to this. 120, 104. Let's do that. Get rid of. Maybe we'll leave Chester Street. No, we won't. Get rid of Chester Street. I guess we will treat this as our splitting point. I think I like that. 104. Zoning's broken. Who cares? That's a 104. This is a 104. So, give me the snap to zoning. We'll go across. Like, oh boy, okay. We'll go across like that. Hopefully we'll solve that a little bit better. Maybe I'll get rid of that. That is not the way we want to go. Okay, I was like, how is that going to make any sense with that turn? But we need to reflip this, and then we're good. So we keep our center streets. We've got our... Now that's a good right turn. I almost don't think I don't think I want this right turn, but maybe... I never know how to set these up in a way that looks good. Do I need to come from this? I guess I do. Well, no, because then that's splitting horribly. Yeah, because that ain't it at all. It's not like I'm straight there. Again, excuse me. It's probably as close as we're gonna get, is doing that, but I think this would be valid, other than it's gonna break that. I'm just saying this and that, you know, it's not like you can see what I'm seeing with my mind. 104. Why is my math not math in here? 104 is that. Then that should be that. I guess that's 104. Ah, boy. Well, yeah, because that's the... Right. Yeah, there's the space between it, so... That's okay. Beautiful planning going on here. Very enjoyable, I think. 48 minutes in. Wow, people must cut a lot. I mean, this is rough. I can't imagine. It's even worse than yesterday's. That one I at least sort of had what feels more interesting to talk about with the whole, I'm testing this and that. But, man. I don't know. This might not see the light of day. This can't really be like, oh, haha, gotcha, just joking. Because this is deliberately not joking. But, I don't know. Still having fun. Yeah, jeez. I don't understand. Maybe this just needs to be a roundabout. And we'll just hope that it lives okay. I mean, this... it's a game issue. Well, you know, what am I going to do about it? And yeah, making it smaller... Not gonna solve the issue. Honestly, just makes it worse. So we'll go with the large one again. I think I like the mirror having the same one. I don't really. I mean, I wish there was just kind of a. I guess there is the. Well, there's asymmetric center. I hate the light. It's highway light. A highway light, if you ask me. Which would be cool some places, but not others. Maybe I will mix it up. I mean, that's just grass. This has got a tree, concrete with a tree. Tree and hedge. I mean, that one's kind of cool. I kind of like that one. But I think I just like that one. I'm good with that one. So we've ended our bike lanes. Maybe I'll go bike lanes along Summit. Some medical district. It kind of makes sense. Guess I could do trees on the median instead of the edge. What does that gonna look like? I guess I would have to do double. That would, yeah, that would kill the trees there. Again, I could do trees in the middle. But if you do trees in the middle, I guess let's experiment over here. Give me a nice divided. Get rid of our weird loose chunk. Give me that divided. We'll go double bike lane. Yeah, roundabouts, whatever. And then can we go trees in the middle? We can. So I guess I could do that over there. That would keep our bike lanes going along Summit. Not gonna do fields. Gym. A gym would be nice. I could have thought about that more. I guess I could, you know, pretend to do eminent domain, aka just destroy everything. But I liked where my skate park ended up. It felt very, very industrial being under the power lines, and also right behind the cop shop. But I could always just destroy it. I don't know. I think it remains to be seen. I think the east-west not having more of a connection other than the major avenues is an issue. I could always solve that, taking Miller Street through or something, but you don't really see buses going along, you know, neighborhood streets. I mean, I guess I should just do Harrington. That makes way more sense. You got that school here. You know, I don't think those normally do that, but I kind of like it, to be honest with you. That's interesting. The path, sorry. Again, I gotta remember you can't see. You're not looking where I'm looking, most likely, so I gotta remember that. I should probably bring through some of these and support some more north-south connection too. I thought about it the most with Fields and First. That would have been the real one to do it with. I've got out my old state highway that I reclassified. Very fun. Did I reclassify that? I guess because Main Street's technically State Highway 305. Up to here, yeah, and then Old State Highway 110 became State Highway 305. Again, fun to have your own headcanon. Enjoy that. I've always wanted to write. Never really done that. You know, being creative is fun. But somehow thinking about being creative is more fun to me than being creative. I think maybe once you start doing it, it's hard to, at least for me, it's hard to feel like you're doing it good. Maybe that's not it. Maybe feel like you're not being pretentious. Again, that doesn't feel like the right way to phrase that either, but I think I have a hard time believing in myself, maybe. if that's a better way to put it. Okay, I like doing more parking lots, but let's get the tiles. Come on, there we go. Give me the good tiles. Is that it? No, different color? I guess it matches those tiles. I don't hate it. I think that's the same. That's gotta be the same. And then, okay, I pulled the tiles over to the parking lot. Very good. Very good. Alright. You know, I've been talking for 54 minutes, 49 seconds, so that's really pushing it for anyone to listen to, but it's treating it like a podcast. I don't want to make a podcast, so I guess this being the closest thing possible to that, I don't know. It's just kind of nice to talk. It's almost like a video journal, which feels like a very 2000s thing to call it. Um, Video journal, vlog, vlog squad or something. I don't know. I enjoy Smosh, bitch Smosh. I was not around for that though. Relatively new to watching, and I do it a bit intermittently. Somehow I'm losing my accent in my YouTube voice. What am I doing over here? I've enjoyed kind of trying to lay it out like it's realistic, and I think maybe that's another hard thing about City Skylines is you just kind of start with a pretty blank canvas. There's some custom maps out there with, road layouts and stuff already done. And I've also had problems with other games in the past where it's like you get the already existing stuff and oh, you're there to improve it, and I have a hard time getting invested in those. So it's kind of a, is that a catch-22? I don't know. I'm not well read enough to know other than that people use the term, but I don't know. Sometimes I wish you could kind of come in with a little bit of a already existing downtown and do that, because it's hard. You just start square one, draw the road off of one of the pre-existing highways, and then you gotta go from there. So without tearing it all up, I don't really like to just tear it up and redo it, but that's probably the only way to really do it. I've been thinking about redeveloping my original area. I built it this way to redevelop it, with a bit of the spacing and all that stuff. And then I just feel bad about, unzoning it. So, that's something to tackle another day. I guess not like I'm gonna run out of nice flat space anytime soon. It does not feel like it's been an hour. We're not quite there yet, but we're close. Time's kind of flying. I'm still having fun. Again, I don't know why anyone would be watching, but hope you're having fun. Casey, I'm trying your patience. I know, hour long, another hour than day after the 30-minute one. But yeah, having fun. Nice Tuesday evening. It's kind of my fun days or Tuesday evenings to play single player stuff. So probably have some Zomboid on the docket for later, but I don't know if I recorded some of that earlier, but it's not exactly the most thrilling stuff to watch, I would say, without it being heavily edited. So, probably won't make the cut if this makes the cut. It's quiet in my house. I live alone most of the time, so it's pretty quiet. Maybe that's why I'm having fun doing this. It's talking, and I used to do a lot of talking, when we were in college and playing video games 8 hours a night, studying for maybe 1 or 2 hours a week. Sorry, Mom and Dad. That could have done a lot better, probably. What they say, though. C's get degrees, and I did a lot better than that, so yeah, a little better than C's. It is weird going back to school when you're, I don't want to say a little older. That makes me sound like I'm, older, but, the difference in going to school when you're 18, 19 versus when you're, let's see, how old was I when I went back to school to get an associate's after getting a bachelor's degree? Humble brag. I think I was, let's see, 20. How old am I now? Just turned a certain age, so I would have been 24, 25. We'll say 25. That's a nice quarter number. As a 25-year-old, and doing it yourself, you're living on your own. You've been living on your own for a bit. It's a different animal. Animal's the wrong word. It was easier going back, and again, I'm sure it's a difference in community college versus, university, but it's not like it's a cakewalk or nothing. You still got to go do the work. And having also worked between then my times in school. It you get a bit of a better work ethic. Still working on that. I think work ethic's a good thing to want to improve. Be proud of your craft or whatever, however fancy way you want to say it. It's hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard to focus for me. I have that problem. But feels good to be driving to something. Maybe that's the hard part of working full time, is you sort of feel, at least for me, I feel like, hey, I'm still young, but am I really, this is like what I got to look forward to for the next 40 years, and I don't want to make it sound like that's not, an accomplishment to do that. To it's something I strive to do. I'd love to do that, and that's what I'm marching towards, day by day. But it's kind of depressing to think about it in that way. I mean, you live to work, work to live. I think I said that in the last one. Again, love my job, enjoy it. Um, but I don't know. Working's kind of boring every day, most of the day. Um, I mean, my boss is the same thing, so it's not rocket science. But at the end of the day, it's most of my life is time spent working and thinking about this conversation. Clearly, I can't multitask is what I'm really learning, because I start talking, and then whatever I was working on, I just end up zooming around and looking at stuff. Remember we were gonna do buses. That's something we were gonna do. Maybe I'll do Waverly Street. I'm just worried this is gonna end up not. I don't wanna, cause I kind of want to pull Harrington through. It feels like it should be on an avenue sort of street, but it might be better to not have it do that for the depot. Depot, however you want to say it. I will interchangeably do both, much like data and data. Depends on the rest of the sentence, how I say it. So maybe it's good to do it on Waverly's low traffic. I mean, I don't have anything here. I was gonna do housing. I was thinking about kind of along the ridge, the hill line here, doing like an apartment complex. I had a map I was working on before this. It was one of the vanilla maps, but like a different city, and I kind of enjoyed building apartment complexes, because that's not something that's super built into the game. At least in America, you get a lot of those, self-contained complexes. It's more than one building, whereas this, at least the NA style assets are kind of just city buildings, if that makes sense. Versus, I mean, even the European ones are a little more, at least where I live, American apartment complex stuff. Did the grass broke on this again? That keeps happening. I think maybe the building leveling up is what breaks it. So maybe I'll just ignore fixing it. I don't think I love this either. I thought it was kind of like a cool, pretend like it's the logo of the hospital or something, healthcare company. But I don't love it the more I look at it. But I don't hate it without the manicured grass. I mean, it looked better with the manicured grass, but I don't care enough to sit here and make you guys watch it while I fix it. And I'm probably not going to fix it off camera, to be honest with you. I say you guys as if there's anyone watching. Again, talking into the void here. Still having fun. Just rambling. I mean, we're over an hour, so that's kind of where I should probably call it. And I don't think I want to record more. I mean, I do want to record more. It's just like, what am I going to upload 3 hours today and then whatever. I guess I could space it out. I won't be recording, very much, at least on the weekends probably, or over the next, I don't know, week. Who knows? So I guess I could split it up, but I don't know. That's something to think about as I hit the wrong button. But I guess I'm going to call it here. And, good luck getting through. Congratulations if you're here. Unless you skipped. I guess if you skipped to the end, hey, fair play. But it's been fun. And I think I'll probably keep doing this a little bit. I don't know if City Skylines is the best game for me to do that with. It's a great game. I love playing it, but again, I've spent an hour basically zooming around, painting some bike lanes, doing a little experimenting with the roads, and that's it. And that's not a lot for an hour, so might need to find something a little. You know, maybe I should have played American Truck Simulator. That might have been the call, honestly. But anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Appreciate your time. Treating it like a meeting at work. We'll give you some of your time back, even though we've gone over. So thanks again, and talk to you later.